Hey guys, Buffering Game back today, bringing you a video for our weapon conversion series. Today we're covering the AA-12 or the Auto Assault 12, utilizing the Frag-12 8-round magazine here on this weapon, firing the frag rounds from this shotgun. There's a fully auto shotgun added today into the mid-season update here, the mid-season refresh for Season 6. So fully auto shotgun, we'll be converting it using the Frag-12 rounds and an 8-round magazine here, and testing it out in game and see how it handles. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Also, a quick note, I will not be live streaming tonight. Tonight's live stream will be pushed back to tomorrow, Thursday. I will be out of town tonight, so we'll just push that back here on YouTube to tomorrow night. So without further ado, let's go ahead and back out and get right into it. So here's the final design for our AA-12 or Auto Assault 12. So first off, what we're going to do is go over how you unlock this. So this was released today in the mid-season refresh, I guess you would call it. So you can see here I have it unlocked in multiplayer as well, and the way you want to do this is get 3 hip-fire kills with a shotgun in 7 different matches. So basically what I did for that is utilize the Origin 12, put whatever attachments you really want on there, put on the 5mm laser and a long barrel, and maybe the 12-round magazine, and you just want to go around and get 3 hip-fire kills in 7 different games. So basically I jumped into a game, whenever I got those 3 hip-fire kills, I would leave immediately, jump into another game, just do that 7 times over. It took maybe about 30 minutes to unlock, so fairly easy to unlock this weapon. And also it is available in the store. There's a bundle where you can buy it with the frag rounds already equipped if you feel like spending the money right off the bat and not unlocking it. But let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, we'll go ahead and strip this weapon down. So at base, we're going to utilize the base muzzle here. Now for the barrel, it doesn't, unfortunately with the barrels, we have 3 different options, but it doesn't give us the actual barrel length. The real life barrel length for this weapon is going to be 457 millimeters, and again, it doesn't list the actual length on any of these, so that's kind of unfortunate. We can't really tell what the barrel length is. Now we do have the ZLR J3600 turret here, which is the longer barrel attachment, but for this purposes of this video, to try and stay more accurate, we're going to go with the ZLR J2800 influx barrel. It's going to assist with the damage range, tighter pellet spread, and the cons here being the ADS speed. You can see the differences versus the 3600. Again, is just you get another con there for the movement speed because it is a longer, heavier barrel. So go ahead and put that on. You can see just how it compares to the long barrel there. You get a little bit better range, a little bit better accuracy, but your mobility and damage are going to go down with this particular barrel. So just keep that in mind. We're going to go with the ZLR J2800 influx barrel for this one to go more in line with that real life 457 millimeter barrel length. Now the laser, typically we would want to be using a 5mm laser for any other round besides the slugs, but the Frag-12 rounds are actually essentially a slug round, so we're really going to want to be accurate and kind of ADS with those. So for that one, we're going to use the tack laser. Again, this is going to just assist with the ADS speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. The con here is going to be the laser will be visible to enemies only when you're ADSing, but we'll go ahead and put that on. You can see it's pretty neat there. It mounts on that right-hand Picatinny, which is nice. We got the PEC-15 laser there. Now for the optics, since we do want to be kind of accurate with this using these Frag-12 rounds, we're going to go ahead and put on the holographic sight or the EOTech here. Just precision sight picture, going to give us a 1.5 times magnification. The only con being the ADS speed, but again, it's about a frame, so you're not even going to notice it. Now different stock options, you can see the different options we have here. Really nothing crazy. They all look pretty basic. Nothing special there. We're going to skip that. We're also going to skip out on the perks. You can see there's really no significant or special perk for this weapon either. Rear grip, again, we have the same essentials we would see with anything else. We're going to skip on that. Now, the main attachment here we're going to want is the ammunition. So you can see you do have quite a bit of ammo choices here. The 20-round drum mag of the 12-gauge rounds. We have 8-round slug magazines. We have the 8-round Dragon Breath magazine. We have the 8-round of the Frag-12, which we'll be using here. And then we also have a 32-round drum mag of the 12-gauge rounds, which is basically where you want to utilize that 5mm laser and a Merc foregrip with this and just go to hipfire at city. But for the purpose of this video, we're using a Frag-12 conversion, so we're going to go ahead and run this 8-round magazine. Now you can see here the low yield payload is capable of dismemberment when you're hitting people, so you will notice that in the gameplay. The pros here are damage at range, explosive impact. The cons are the damage radius. You don't have a big splash radius here. The bullet accuracy, bullet velocity, and stock ammo. So we'll go ahead and select that, so you have lower ammo to start with at base there. I think you only have about full ammo 3 magazines total. Now the next attachment, again, typically you would want to maybe run like a Merc foregrip for more hipfire actually, but for this one we don't really want to hipfire with this too much. We kind of do want to ADS a little bit and be kind of accurate with it. So I'm going to run the the Ranger foregrip. But again, this is really personal preference how you want to run this. The pros here are going to be the recoil control and the aiming stability. The cons are going to be the aim walk and movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So we'll go ahead and put on that Ranger foregrip, and there is our final design for the AA-12 or the Auto Assault 12. Again, this is really the main competition for the Saiga-12, which is the Russian shotgun, which actually I believe is probably better overall, has a faster rate of fire than this weapon. The AA-12 here comes in at about 300 rounds per minute. But quick note, camouflage. You can see I have a few unlocked because I did already play with this a little bit here today in multiplayer. You can just see how those look on the weapon. They look all right. I think really you're better off just using the base with this one. I think it looks really nice at base without any special camouflage on there. It's a very clean finish on the camo, which is nice to see. But again, I particularly like the base version of this weapon. But that's the final design for this. Again, just one other build I'll show you here that we talked about quickly. If you wanted to run probably the max damage build for this, and utilize it as a shotgun, we'll run that 5 milliwatt. We'll run the 3600 turret, the Merc foregrip. We'll throw on that 32 round drum magazine, and then you really don't need an optic with this. So that's gonna be personal preference. If you wanted to throw on a muzzle device, you could put on a big muzzle brake there, or even one of the suppressors like the monolithic would be good too. And you could basically just run this, and this is going to be essentially your hip fire machine here. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of people running something similar to this in Warzone once everyone has this thing unlocked. Just a 32 round full auto shotgun is pretty beast. So I'll show that quick when we jump into the recoil pattern. I'll just show this one off too, as well as the frag rounds. But here's the final design for the AA-12 Auto Shot 12 with the Frag-12 magazine there. You can see again, very nice design, very accurate to the real life version there for the most part. We have the select fire there on the right hand side. It does fire from an open bolt, so when I preview it, you will notice that it is open bolt before we start shooting. And then we have ambidextrous select fires on the in-game version, and the mag release there, I believe, is at the bottom of the trigger guard there, where you release the magazine. But that's the final design here. Go ahead and jump into the gameplay. We'll show off the recoil patterns on this. I'll show off just that 32 round mag dump on that other version we just showed. And then we'll jump into the gameplay here, see how this handles in game against bots. And the first thing you'll notice once we get to the gameplay here, first off, it's fairly accurate. You're really not gonna, I mean, for a shotgun, you're really gonna want to hip fire this. But the other thing you'll notice when we get into the gameplay, since we are using the frag rounds, we do want to kind of the ADS. And again, this really brings me back to the nostalgia of the Battlefield 3 days, where this was actually just extremely overpowered in Battlefield 3. Hopefully, we don't run into that here in COD 4. I know it did have to be nerfed back on Battlefield 3 because it was so OP, but we'll see how it handles here online. I haven't really run into anyone with it yet in multiplayer, and I haven't played Warzone yet today, so I'm not sure how it is in there. However, I have seen some clips with the frag rounds, and it does seem to be pretty devastating, especially at range and against vehicles, obviously. But we'll have to wait and see how that handles once everyone has it unlocked and leveled up fully. Now, again, for this weapon, you'll see, once we get into the actual gameplay, I forget kind of that this is full auto, and I'm not holding the trigger down. I'm tap firing it like I would in Origin 12, which again is semi-auto. You need to tap fire that Origin 12, not full auto. And this one I'm kind of doing the same thing at start. And then I realized that I really just only need to pull the trigger down, which is an odd concept with a shotgun in this game. We're not used to that. So once you just realize you just need to hold that trigger down, and you're going to get complete carnage, then the weapon really becomes what it's meant to be used for in this game. So just pay attention to that. Don't forget that it is completely full auto. Just hold the trigger down and it's going to dump that mag. Now for this weapon, again, in real life, the designer is Maxwell Atchisson. This was originally designed in 1972, and then it was adopted by MPS, or I believe it's Military Police Systems, in 2005. Manufacturer, again, Maxwell Atchisson. The mass of this weapon overall is 5.2 kilograms. Without the magazine, then fully loaded is going to be 7.3 kilograms, loaded with a 30-round drum magazine. So just keep that in mind. Not too bad for this, especially with the 32-round drum magazine of the 12-gauge rounds on that. Pretty fully loaded weapon. Now the length overall, the original version of 1972, the Atchisson Assault, is going to be 991 millimeters. And the reduced version, adopted as the AA-12 in 2006 by MPS, is going to be 966 meters. The barrel length for this weapon is going to be 457 millimeters. And the cartridge, again, is a 12 gauge round. We also have the ability to fire slugs and the frag rounds here in game. Now the action is API blowback. It fires from an open bolt, which again I mentioned, and you'll see that in the animation for the weapon inspection, that when you look at that right hand side, the bolt is open. You can see the rounds in there. The rounds per minute, excuse me, the rate of fire is going to be 300 rounds per minute. The muzzle velocity is going to be 350 meters per second, or 1100 feet per second. Effective range using the base 12 gauge or 12 gauge slug rounds is going to be 100 meters, and the maximum firing range utilizing the Frag-12 rounds, which we're utilizing here, is going to be 200 meters. The feed system, again, like I said, is really accurate to what we have in game here. Typically with other weapons, we have a round or two off, but we have an 8-box mag, 20-round drum, or a 32-round drum magazine here for the AA-12. And then again, just standard iron sights or optics can be attached to this. We have the top Picatinny here on this weapon in game. So the one thing with this is that it doesn't have select fire. It is only fully auto. So I think I mentioned by accident that it was select fire on the right and left hand side. It's ambidextrous. It's just basically the safety and the safety switch to fire or put it on safe. So there's no select fire for this. However, it does have the slower rate of fire at 300 rounds per minute. So an operator could essentially just do a quick squeeze or two, and you're going to get that semi-auto effect for it if you really need to. Or, again, you can just hold that down, and it's going to fire and dump at 300 rounds per minute, which is fairly fast, especially, obviously, for a shotgun. Again, it fires a little bit slower than the Saga 12, I believe, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So, overall, that's really what we have for this weapon. The AA-12 in real life, as I said, can use buckshot, slugs, rubber slugs, as well as the frag rounds, which were also developed for this weapon. And there's been a lot of concepts to utilize this on within the military, especially. But let me know what you guys think of this. The AA-12 utilizing the frag rounds below. Also, that 32-round magazine on this is just brutal. I can see this being just the new meta for sure in Warzone. Even multiplayer today, everyone's running shotguns, but I'm a little afraid to see what it's going to look like in Warzone in a couple days here when everyone has this thing leveled up. Basically, I think submachine guns are going to be kind of no longer meta at CQC, or at least those close quarters engagements within probably 10 to 15 meters. I would say the shotgun here, the AA-12, is now the new meta for actual close quarters engagements. The MP5 and other submachine guns are going to have to utilize that more long-range CQC to shorter medium-range engagement, which I don't really think is a bad thing. I think that's kind of good that the submachine guns need to be put in kind of their place and utilized more so at range. There needs to be a counter for the MP5, and I think this is it. We're just going to have to see how spammy it is. Really, I think it's not going to be too much worse than what we saw with the shotguns in Season 5 there, especially with the ground loot there, the Origin 12. But you're really just going to have to think twice before entering buildings in Warzone and not rush in as much, which, honestly, I think it's a good thing. And I'm saying that now, and I'm probably going to change my tune later on. But for right now, I think it kind of offers a new spot in the meta for that close quarters engagements. People that like to rush with the MP5 and go ham with that thing close quarters are not going to be able to do so anymore. And again, now that the MP5 is going to be pushed to longer or shorter medium range engagements, we also have the AS-Val to counter that. So it should be interesting to see how the meta shakes up now. I think it's, like I said, I think it's a good thing. I think it's good for the meta. But we'll have to wait and see what time tells here as we get into the next week or two with this game in Warzone and see how bad the frag rounds are, or even the Dragon Breath could be an issue. But again, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So let me know down below, what do you think of this weapon overall in multiplayer? What do you think of it in Warzone? What do you think the meta is going to be here in Warzone? Do you think it's going to be an issue, or do you think it's going to offer balance to the game like I'm kind of predicting? But again, I could be completely wrong. So let me know your thoughts down below. And again, the live stream, no live stream tonight because I will be out of town, but we will be picking up with a live stream here on YouTube tomorrow, Thursday, and we'll probably stream Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Maybe even throw a Saturday in there too to get back on track. But let me know down below what you guys think of this shotgun. Until next time, this is Buckner Gaming.